For Robert 2830 Linden Street, Darlene Heller gave a very accurate description of the discussion that took place at the Planning Commission. However, the thing that we are discussing in this public hearing includes 5 members and 2 alternates. That's 7 potential people to attend the zoning hearing board hearing, with the way I read this piece of paper.
No.
Mr. Spadoni.
If I may respond, the zoning hearing board is of 5 members, and there are 2 alternates to serve if one of the members can't be there. But the board is of 5.
That's correct.
You could have 7 people there.
But there is a potential pool to draw people from of 7, right? Not just 5.
Correct, 5 members and 2 alternates.
The Planning Commission, I think, was struggling with the concept of a supermajority or something like that. They were concerned that, in our society, majority rules. And if there are 3 members present, a majority is 2. And they were uncomfortable, because of their own situation, of deviating from that rule. If, in fact, the final zoning ordinance section is approved as written here, not changed to strike the 2 alternates, then the likelihood that only 3 out of the 7 potential people that could serve on the zoning hearing board meeting are there, and then the situation of the 3 versus 2 occurs, is very slim. The Planning Commission was told, point blank, 5 members, period. Alternates were not in the new zoning ordinance amendment. That's what they were told, to my recollection. So, what they discussed and what they gave you an opinion on is not based on this particular ordinance. And therefore, I would urge council to take their rejection with a very large grain of salt, because they were truly concerned about the loss of the majority rules concept. 7 members, you should be able to get at least 5 or 4, so the 3 makes no difference. And that's the point. So I think that the case where it becomes a loss of majority rules is very slim, given the way this is written. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? This public hearing is adjourned. The ordinance will be placed on the February 1st City Council agenda. We'll move to item 4, approval of the minutes for December 21st and January 4th. Any comments? Minutes stand approved. Item 5, courtesy of the floor for public comment on an ordinance or resolution to be voted on by City Council this evening with a 5-minute time limit. Would anyone like to address council on an issue that we will be voting on this evening? We'll move into the agenda. Item 6, old business, members of council. Old business. We'll move into communications. Communications 7C. Public Safety Committee Chairman replacing Article 735, Emergency Alarm System and Fees.
This is to follow up on my November 10th, 2010 memorandum that was read into the record of the November 16th, 2010 City Council meeting. I am requesting consideration of the attached amendments for first reading of the ordinance replacing Article 735, Emergency Alarm System, that have been drafted by Christopher Spadoni, City Council Solicitor.
Comments? This will be on the February 1st agenda for first reading. We'll move to 7D, President of Council, amending Article 121, dealing with bond issues, general obligation notes, and lines of credit.
I had requested that Christopher Spadoni, Council Solicitor, research how it can be specified in insurance that the administration must use funds borrowed only for those certain purposes for which the money was borrowed. Purpose is to prevent a recurrence of the situation when the $6 million general obligation note that was issued for non-utility capital projects as approved September 7, 2010, was instead used by the administration to pay general fund costs, including employee salaries. Attached for consideration is a proposed ordinance by which it is required that the proceeds of a bond issue, general obligation note, line of credit, or any other type of loan or advance must be placed in an account to be used only for the purposes for which the funds are borrowed or advanced, and that each expenditure must be approved by City Council. I am requesting that the Finance Committee place this matter on its upcoming agenda.
Comments? Chair will refer this to the Finance Committee for review. Go right ahead.
Mr. President, I would ask the Finance Chair, Mr. Reynolds, if we could all possible put that on the January 31st Finance Committee agenda. I would appreciate that.
Very good, thank you. We'll move to item 7E, PMRS. Bill 1 is listed on the agenda for first reading.
Attached, please find the PMRS ordinance for the early retirement option.
Comments? Bill 1 is on the agenda. 7F, City Solicitor, Records Destruction, City Controller's Office.
Attached is a proposed resolution for the destruction of records from the Controller's Office.
Comments? Resolution will be placed on the February 1st agenda. 7G, City Solicitor, Records Destruction, Financial Services Bureau.
Attached is a proposed resolution for the destruction of records from the Financial Services Bureau.
Comments? Item will be on the February 1st agenda. 7H, City Council Solicitor, Community Economic Development Director Compensation.
Please accept this correspondence as a communication for the Tuesday, January 18th City Council meeting for the compensation of the Community and Economic Development Director being referred to the Human Resources and Environment Committee.
Chair will refer this to Mr. Mauer's Committee for Review, Human Resources and Environment Committee. We'll schedule a meeting in the foreseeable future on that. We'll move to reports. President of Council, 2 items. The continued public hearing for police officer Lerner is scheduled for next Monday, January 24th, 2011, 6 p.m. in Town Hall. The second public hearing next Monday, January 24th, 6 p.m. in Town Hall. Let me give you the City Council report. Members of Council will receive a complete report in their packets. We'll also have this on the webpage for the public, and these are just highlights, short version. 2010 President of Council's report. City Council conducted more than 20 committee meetings, adopted 48 ordinances, and passed 201 resolutions in 2010. City Council adopted ordinances for the 2009 Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code and revised fees, 2009 ICC International Property Maintenance Code, continuation of the EAC Committee, prohibiting the use of handheld mobile telephone and texting while operating vehicles in the city, an amendment to the zoning ordinance to increase the total membership to the zoning hearing board to 5 members instead of 3 with no alternates. So we may have to have an amendment next meeting to amend what we just were discussing. Continuing the LERTA program through December 2012 to provide for the financial reporting to City Council, a .75 bill increase dedicated to the building of a new EMS facility and the purchase of a new fire pumper. City Council adopted the following resolutions: to revise the duties of the Community and Economic Development Committee to include matters relating to landmarks and property of historical interest, renaming the ice rink to Earl E. Schaefer Municipal Ice Rink in honor of the former mayor of the city of Bethlehem, to honor and recognize the support for the construction of recreational facilities in the Monocacy complex, increasing fees for the skating rink, swimming pool, pavilion rental, summer day camp, facility rental for special events, golf fees and recycling fees, approving a new 3-year 911 plan, granting approval for an intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license to Big Woody's Pizza and Sports Bar on Easton Avenue, the Working Woodlands program that the Bethlehem Authority negotiated with the Nature's Conservancy, and authorizing the submission of an application in preparation of a cooperation agreement between ArtsQuest and the City of Bethlehem for the pass-through of funds and the assignment of administrative requirements under the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program to ArtsQuest. The amount of $2 million towards the redevelopment of the Festival Center at Steel Stacks was adopted by City Council. The TIF rebate agreement for BethWorks with Northampton County, Bethlehem Area School District, and the Bethlehem Redevelopment Authority for the purpose of rebating certain excess TIF revenues from the 3 taxing bodies. That's a short version. Members of Council will receive the complete version in their packets. And I would ask Mr. Spadoni And I thought it was 5 members. We were actually, public hearing was on the amendment with no alternate. So since that's what was before us, I will ask and have an amendment to the ordinance for us to review next, at our next meeting. Next fire report, Mr. Mayor.
I have 5 administrative orders. Administrative order number 1339, I hereby reappoint Mark Jobs, 428 High Street, Bethlehem, to the Bethlehem Authority, and this reappointment is effective until January 2016.
The resolution is sponsored by Mr. Evans and Ms. Dolan.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Aye.
Mr. DeGiusto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer? Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye.
Vote is 7-0.
Administrative order number 1340, I hereby reappoint Dr. Joseph Basak, 1952 East Hill Drive, Bethlehem, to the Board of Health, and this reappointment is effective until January 2016.
The resolution is sponsored by Ms. Dolan and Mr. Reynolds.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Aye.
Mr. DeGiusto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer?
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye.
Vote is 7-0.
Administrative order number 1342, I hereby reappoint Constantine Lupus, 1539 Rudolph Drive, Bethlehem, to the Zoning Hearing Board, and this reappointment is effective until January 2014.
The resolution is sponsored by Mr. Evans and Mr. Reynolds.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Aye.
Mr. DeGiusto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer?
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye.
Vote is 7-0.
Administrative order number 1343, I hereby appoint James Heitman, 1306 Prospect Avenue, Bethlehem, to the Historic Conservation Commission, South Bethlehem and Monterey, and this appointment is effective until May 2011.
Resolution is sponsored by Ms. Dolan and Mr. Reynolds.
Comments?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeSenzo?
I had a chance to read Mr. Heitman's resume that was sent to us in the package, and I know he's only serving as a substitute here until the end of his term, but this gentleman, if he's interested, based on his background, should be considered for the Bethlehem Authority, Redevelopment Authority, the Parking Authority. It's well written, he's got a very good background and could fit in any of those areas, so I'm not sure he's interested, but he should be considered.
Thank you. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Aye.
Mr. DeGiusto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer? Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye.
Vote is 7-0.
Administrative order number 1344, I hereby appoint Patricia Stair, 807 Johnston Drive, Bethlehem, to the Board of Health, and this appointment is effective until January 2015.
The resolution is sponsored by Ms. Dolan and Mr. Reynolds.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Aye.
Mr. DeGiusto?
Aye.
Ms. Dolan?
Aye.
Mr. Evans?
Aye.
Mr. Mauer?
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Mr. Donches?
Aye.
Vote is 7-0.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. We'll move to item 10, new ordinances